Justin Herbert is saying, and we were not able to find the video of Justin Herbert saying this entire thing. We were.
Gum found it.
Of course he did.
Of course
he did. Hey, listen, government official in charge of immigration, that video wasn't on the internet.
No.
The thing that was on the internet was the quote of what Justin Herbert said.
That's it.
Old Gumpy put the splunking light on. Put it right around his rat tail. And he went into the internet and said, let me go try to find this. Let me rip this. Let's give proper credit because that's what we try to do as much as possible. We assume this is the Chargers YouTube. Shout out, Chargers YouTube is what is being said.
Look at that.
So whenever this runs know that Gumpy, anybody else could have done this on the internet.
Yeah.
Nobody did. All we saw was the headline. Justin Herbert threatening hold-in if necessary.
That's huge news.
Let's listen to what he had to say actually and how it was delivered. And then let's go ahead and gauge our reaction off of how it's delivered because this is a big deal with a team that has had numerous players hold in, it feels like, over the past few years. Justin Herbert basically said, I might be the next one. Seemingly. That's what the headlines say. Let's hear the man say it himself.
If you were to do a hold in, how much could that delay that progress and everything?
Yeah, that'd put you quite into the deficit. I think that we've done a great job so far of picking up the offense and doing exactly what Kellen's asked for us. But when it comes time to camp, the role of the quarterback is to be out there for his team and to do everything he can to put that team in a position to win. And I understand that responsibility. So it's something that you'll address when the time comes. But I guess we'll see.
Okay, so that was not him saying it was a hold. It was a question about a hold. There's another video, I do believe, or no? Maybe the other video is where it is. Maybe the other video is where he's the one saying it because the way the quotes were saying is that he would potentially do it. That video clearly did not have that. Here's another video that was sent in by Gumpy. Remember, this is happening in real time.
When we last talked to you, you kind of mentioned that if you don't have a deal, it's something you have to address and think about. Is there any strategy? Would you be someone who would consider like a hold-in or anything to make sure a deal gets done, or is that just completely out of the picture for you?
It's something that I really haven't thought a whole lot about. I think the most of the offseason so far has been worried about, getting my shoulder right, making sure that I'm the best quarterback that I can be for this team. It's something that you can address. I'm not quite sure. I don't have any more updates for you at this time, but like I've said earlier, I think the world of the Chargers organization. I've got complete faith in the front office. So that's something that you'll address at the time, but I don't have any updates right now.
So you never said it.
What the hell?
He said, I'm not even thinking about it.
I mean,
Do you have any strategy? She didn't say the hold. Then somebody else said the hold in. And he said, I know my job as quarterback is to be around. So all these headlines and everything on Twitter was completely false.
Justin
Justin Herbert didn't say anything about holding in.
No. Trying to vilify the guy.
Well, not only that, they're trying to put the Chargers and Herbert in an interesting situation. We don't need to do any more of that.
People ran with the very end of that first video where he said, we'll see. That's like
bull.
It said Justin Herbert asked about hold-in. He said, we'll see.
Okay, so there's no hold-in.
Nah.
No.
Not at all.
Herbert was asked Wednesday whether he could stage a hold-in during camp if the sides can't hammer out an extension. When it comes for time for camp, the role of the quarterback is to be out there for his team and do everything he can to put the team in a position to win, he said via the team's official transcript. I understand the responsibility. It's something that you'll address when the time comes, but I guess we'll see. Okay.
Last two
So
words.
I guess.
Headlines everywhere. This wasn't just like one report either. This is a bunch of different outlets.
Dude, it's one of the next massive quarterback contracts that completely changes and tilts the entire NFL. Every single new quarterback deal that comes in tilts how the NFL is going to be run going forward, what teams are going to be able to truly compete, what teams are not going to be able to compete, how's the salary cap going to be affected by it all. Him and fucking Joe Burrow are the one that they're talking about right now. So whenever you potentially say on the internet, and I guess we should have done more research before reading a lot of people kind of insinuating that this is the case. When you say he's potentially going to hold in, which is the newer version of hold out, which is like, I ain't doing anything until you give me my money. That kind of sets the tone for how you think that contract negotiations may be going. What he said was nothing. Telesco told us in here, he said, I'm not losing sleep over the Justin Herbert deal. So whenever I read and found out about this hold-in thing, I'm like, ooh, I wonder if Telesco's losing sleep now over this. We listened to that. Telesco ain't worried about nothing. Neither's Herbert either.
No.
But I guess we'll see, is all he said.
It sounds like Herbert there's no update on it, but it don't sound like he's worried about it right now.
Me neither.
Yeah,
Sounds like they're going to get a deal done.
Yeah, him and Burrow feel like they know what position they're in and, how much leverage they do have because of how good they are. And it feels like both organizations also know that, hey, no matter what, Herbert said it, I just was reiterating the fact that a very smart man who on the, smart Heisman says words the same way I do, no big deal or anything, but happy Thursday. But seriously, the two GMs, Duke Tobin and Telesco, they both are like, hey, no matter what, this guy isn't walking out of the building. Like, we're keeping him. It's almost like Harbaugh saying that Lamar's 200% going to be their quarterback.
Our sources have sent a direct statement from the Chargers.
Okay.
Every time Justin has been available this entire spring, he has been asked about his contract, and every time he has said he wasn't worried about it and was letting his agent handle the discussion. Nobody has said anything different or ever talked about it. Literally, one guy asked a hypothetical question, and a guy used the word hold in, and now it's off and running. Okay. All right, so they're like, come on.
Yeah.
What do we do? Because it got big. That spread like wildfire because that would be a big news if it wasn't big news. Turns out, not big news.
No news.
Okay.
All right, congrats everybody over there.
Way to go, Chargers.
Well done.
Because the rest of the NFL was like, oh, Herbert.
Hold the phone.
Holding in, okay. And then Joe Burrow was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Wait a second.
Holding
What's he holding for?
What the?
Should we?
Anything.
Should I?
Are we? How's this whole thing? But the fact that a question was asked about his strategy, and then another reporter said, are you contemplating a hold-in? And he gives a whole answer about what the role of a quarterback is, what he couldn't do, what would make the team better. And then he says at the end, I guess we'll see. And if you type it up, the way I guess we'll see is certainly a response to a question about a hold-in.
Right.
But if you listen to what he actually said, it's like, yeah, but I guess we'll see, kind of two different narratives. The reason why it's such a big deal, though, is because Herbert's deal is going to change the market. We all assume whoever's next after Herbert, because we think Burrow's probably going to go first, then Herbert's going to go, or Herbert first, then Burrow. Nonetheless, massive ordeal, young superstar, no drama at all, even though it sounded like there was for a bit, AJ. Your thoughts on the state of the internet with NFL rumors and also Justin Herbert and the Chargers?
Well, it's June 15th. Mini camps are wrapping up. So, yeah, people are going to run with things. But it would be stupid for Justin Herbert to not at least leave a little mystery about his contract. It'd be dumb for him to say, absolutely not. I will be here every day no matter what. He needs to the team needs to know, hey, it's possible that we don't have this guy. He's here and he's not participating.
So that would be a very different Justin Herbert than the Herbert that we got to meet coming out of Oregon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because coming out of Oregon, we said to him, like, obviously, do you have a shoe deal done yet? He said, no, I don't have a shoe deal done, but it would definitely be with Nike. I was like, or
Under Armour.
or it'll be with Adidas. He's like, no, it'll be with Nike. I'm like, do you have the deal done yet? He's like, no. I'm like, or it'll be with Adidas. And he's like, no, I'm doing it with Nike. Like, Herbert is very much, I think, an old school guy. Like, I think the way he acts.
Yes.
There was a video the other day of him walking through the media session, and if you take a little look-see at his left hand, you will appreciate and respect this big, tall, handsome son of a bitch more. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Why am I here? Can't wait to do the interview. Thanks for having me. How you doing? He just hates everything that isn't football, it seems. So whenever you're talking about contract stuff, like, that's that's not football. They'll deal with that. We do a hold in. It's like quarterback's supposed to be at training camp.
Yes.
We are trying to win the game. So I think he is just that type of old school guy since day one, always will be. But the Chargers got a good one, and hopefully they're able to get that thing done.
Very, very true. His middle finger is so long.
Long.
Oh, yeah.
Big son of a bitch.
Dude. Yeah, he did that thing.
Yep.
What did his hands measure at the combine?
18?
10 and a half.
For real. Does he have a Joker type feel to him? How he just wants to ball? That's it.
Yeah, I enjoy the fact that he is kind of like from America, still a little Serbian. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, I enjoy that. So, like, I got a chance to meet his dad. I've told the story before, but I think it goes into all that we're talking here. He grew up in a family that, like, loves football.
Die-hard fan.
The art of football. What football is in its entirety. They grew up respecting and appreciating the strategy, the reasoning, how players are supposed to be good. Like, him and his family and his brothers are very athletic and talented as well. They grew up playing football like in their living room in Oregon when they didn't have furniture yet when they moved into this house. They painted on uprights on the wall, and after every score, they had a kick, and they actually had punts. So it was like him and his family, he's grown up like respecting football so much, it seems like, was the story that I got from his dad before College Game Day on the campus of Oregon, which is beautiful.
Beautiful.
It is fucking beautiful out there. So it feels like Herbert is a guy that will not do a hold-in, would ever want to distract at all from football. So I think that is why potentially the Chargers and everybody else was like, hey, he's been asked questions about his contract all spring, and he has said that it's not worried about it. We do not want this type of bullshit to live on, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, do you think that maybe he wants to wait either way because in Kellen Moore's offense he might see himself playing even better? Like, do you think there's a chance that he might have his best season yet and that signing it right now might not play to his favor?
Boy, I don't know.
I think him and Joe, like, that is the contract will handle itself. I'm ready to focus on football.
You think Joe's deal is going to get done?
Yeah, I think Joe deal get done real soon.
Joe should.
What if Duke Tobin says, hey, Joe, I listened to you do an interview the other day, and you were asked about who's the greatest quarterback. And the answer that you gave, we did not have the video, was it's got to be Pat. You know, it's got to be Pat, especially because that whole thing. And Duke's like, well, this is what Pat's making. Okay.
All right.
You said, your words, run it back. Run it. This is you, right?
Not as good as he is.
Look how good your hair is.
Yeah, sweet hair
He's
band.
the best. So we just offer your words, what you're saying, not ours. We drop that $5 million a year, probably.
Yeah.
And then boom, we got a deal, right?
We done?
We done here?
See you later.
You said it, not me. You're kind of. This is your idea, not mine.
Yeah.
Duke wouldn't do that. But think if a team did that, and then the quarterback is supposed to still have respect for the team and be lucky to be here. Worse things have been done in negotiating contracts in the NFL. Worse things have been said to people whenever contracts are being negotiating. I mean, there is some ugly times. But to Pac-Man's point, Duke knows the deal's going to get done with Joe.
Yeah.
Tom Telesco knows the deal is going to get done with Justin Herbert, and both players seem to know. That's good. Maybe this is what deals are like in the future. Like, instead of all the shit that potentially comes with putting a value on a human for a real first time, and you know what everybody else's value is as well. So it's a real life Madden score happening. Oh, that you think I'm better than this, worse than this person, better than this person. That's what you're saying with the money. Normally that can get a little dramatic. Feels like these two are going pretty smooth.
Yeah, but we're also talking about franchise quarterbacks where the team knows this is our guy. We don't have to go search and find somebody else. Like, it's a 100% no-brainer. We want to re-sign this person for the long term. It's not like that at other positions.
So we just sent a cold text to Tom Telesco, see if he'll come on the show.
Nice.
We won't be a 15, 20-minuter. It'll just be a, hey, when you were on the show before, you said you're not losing any sleep over the Herbert deal.
Are you now?
That's the guy.
We'll see.
That's the guy.
We still sleeping? How's that pillow?
Yeah, well, not as
Toss it
nice.
and turn it?
I'm a little worried now.
Because reporters are saying hold in, and then
He's thinking about it.
I guess.
He's flipping off your camera guy.
Yeah, you guys are.
Who's his agent?
Is he a Mulligeta guy?
Do you think it matters
Should be.
who goes first between those two, or do you think they already both have their numbers set and it's just semantics at this point?
Go ahead, Pac.
I don't think it matters. He's in L.A., so that number might be a little bigger anyway because of.
Then Joe's? See, I was thinking.
I was going to say
I was thinking
Cost
Joe.
of living?
I was thinking Joe. I mean, cost of living, taxes, all that shit could come into play. I was thinking Joe was like, "Hey, Jalen Hurts, here's the deal." I was thinking Herbert was like,
Josh
Joe
Allen.
get way more than Hurts though. That's not even like that's comparison, but that ain't comparison, is it?
No, well, that's what I'm saying. I think Joe Burrow I think he's comparing contract. I would assume the Bengals, Joe Burrow, are trying to bring in different contracts to be compared to what Herbert's comparing to. I'm not saying Herbert. Joe's been to Super Bowl. Joe has obviously done his whole thing. Herbert, I know what happened in playoffs and everything like that, which is wild to think about. And they come back and get a massive win. But, I don't think Herbert's getting as much as Joe.
No way.
No way.
I also think Joe might take a little less because of what he said about, hey, we have to pay T and Jamar and some other guys.
But Joe gets a little bit more than Jalen and Lamar, right? And then Herbert gets more than what Kyler got.
Yeah, I'm going to text him. He's on a plane.
Yeah, Herbert feels like what Josh Allen, like a little more than Kyler. And
Well, no, Josh Allen per year, I think, is actually less than Kyler, which is mind-boggling.